Sometimes I think that it is nearly as important for us to hear what Jesus doesn't say as it is for us to hear what he does say. Jesus does not say, "Come to me, all you who have your spiritual lives sorted and who have your act together." He doesn't say that. Jesus doesn't say, "Come to me, you who are the strongest and the fittest and the wisest and the best connected." He doesn't say, "Come to me, you who are physically strong, ready to go from strength to strength, who are spiritually strong, ready to move mountains, or emotionally and mentally strong, ready to take on the powers of this world." He doesn't say that. What does he say? Jesus says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." In today's word of encouragement, I want to just share a word for those who are feeling weary and burdened. I don't mean that you're tired and you could do with a nap or maybe a good night's sleep and you'll be all right. But I mean, there's somebody who's feeling really weary. Your soul, your spirit is feeling weary. You're feeling burdened by the weight of responsibility or the weight of the world. And you're just weary with all that's going on around you and within you. You're just weary. And I want to share a word that's not just from the minister, or it's not just a pep talk, something to cheer you up during the day, but something, a deeper encouragement, a word spoken from the heart of God into your life. Come to me, you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. What does rest look like in a time like this? In a time where if like me, you're in lockdown, where you can't go anywhere, you can't get a break, where you're cooped in, and maybe your days just sort of bleed in one into another. Maybe it feels like Groundhog Day, and you wonder, how can I get a rest? How can we find rest when work and family come together, or whether we feel isolated, or we're wondering when we're going to be able to get work again? How can we find rest in a time like this? It's important to recognize that when Jesus says, "I will give you rest," he's not talking about rest as we commonly understand it, like just a break or a breather. He's talking about something much deeper. And he's talking about it in the context of a call to discipleship. So he's not saying, "Come to me and I'll give you a cabana on the beach," or "Come to me and life will be smooth sailing, or there will be no more hardship or struggle or pain or suffering." That's not what he's saying. He's saying in the call of a context to the hard life of discipleship, where we pour ourselves out in love, he's saying that he will pour into us. "Come to me, you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." He's calling back to Exodus 33. Where Moses he's bringing his anxiety before God. He's anxious about leading God's people through the wilderness. Nobody likes to be in the wilderness. The wilderness, if you're experiencing lockdown right now, you have a sense of the wilderness. How long is this going to be? When do we get to the other side? Wilderness is a hard place to be, and to lead people through the wilderness is this huge burden of responsibility. And Moses brings this anxiety before God. Listen to the Lord's response to Moses. It's not a response of, "Oh, don't worry about it, Moses. You'll be fine. You're a great leader. Don't worry about it." He doesn't give him a pep talk. No, what does he say? He says, "I will be with you. My presence will go with you, and I will give you rest." My presence will go with you, and I will give you rest. the rest that he's promising is not a break or a breather or a cabana on the beach. It is his presence with him, with Moses and with his people. And that's what Jesus is offering as well. He's offering his presence with us. Come to me, you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. And we hear that promise as he sends his disciples out with the Great Commission at the end of Matthew's Gospel. He leaves them with this promise: Lo, I am with you always, to the end of the age. And so as you go through today and the days ahead, I encourage you to seek God's presence with you. And you can do that wherever you are. You can do it in your home, in your room. You can listen to a piece of inspiring music, whether it's a contemporary worship song or an old hymn. You can do it by journaling early in the morning and watching the sunrise, or by reading the Psalms, not to study them or to analyze them, but just to let God's word speak to you, or read one of the Gospels in the same way. You can do it by picking up the phone and talking to somebody else who could use that connection, and know that God is present in the midst of that. There's so many different ways that we can experience God's presence with us, and in that we find the rest that we need for the weariness of our souls. In his presence we find the rest that we need for the weariness of our spirit. And in his presence we find the hope that we need for today. And I do pray that in that you have a hope-filled day.